Peace. And happy now. Now is a vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now, I want to speak on the little inner gnosis that, I had dealing with the Hermetic Principles and how they correspond or parallel with the chakras. When doing this, keeping in mind, or like when I, had this little inner gnosis come to me, and I realized that, it's possible that these, principles and, the correspondence with chakras, as far as like they could be interchangeable from what I came with, what I came up with. But again, this is just me sharing my little inner gnosis of, a vibe that came to me correlating, the Hermetic Principles with the chakras, because I haven't seen any information on it, and then one day something just came to me like, this one would line up with this one would line up with this one. So I'm like, all right. So I'm going to share this with y'all. Matter of fact, if you're not familiar, the Emerald Tablets of Jehudi or of Thoth, Thoth in Greek, and then later Hermes, and then becoming the Hermetic Principles. But this all stems from Jehudi, No matter of fact, the line of the tribe of Jehudi or Judah. But now again, these are the Hermetic Principles are basically like principles, or some people call it laws of the universe, but it's basically is, and more so, like, so outside of the 3D realm of, on a human level, how we deal with this, this is more so too, like, it may not be unnecessarily like these laws are more so, let's just say, in our direct universe and dimension, let's just put it like that. But I don't want to, confuse anybody. But again, I like to be as truthful as possible. And one of the things I realized too, though, I also making sure I'm a clear channel for information, because sometimes these things coming from higher self, like our English language does no justice for the things that we be downloading from, higher self in essence sometimes. So, it be like to the best of our abilities, putting words on a lot of these things, That's why we be having to refer back to, as much as, we don't be wanting to use a lot of those old 3D words like, oh, a black person or a white person or this or that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like shit in order for people to kind of get, that's why I always use, for lack of a better word, or, but, so we're about to go through this list, and there's no particular order in essence, but I'm gonna start from the root chakra going on up, so, you have the Hermetic principle of gender, basically stating that everything has, a masculinity and or feminine, like everything has a masculine or a feminine, even looking at us, we are electromagnetic beings, with a feminine aspect with the magnetic energy, and a masculine aspect with the electrical energy, even down to our handwriting, if we got more curvy lines in our handwriting, that's going to be more of a feminine vibe, because the curvy line is a feminine, corresponds with the feminine vibration. Straight lines correspond with the masculine. That's why a cross is like, two phalluses are kind of in essence represents, death to a certain extent, or like a crucifixion, compared to like a circle that would probably, mean eternal life, That's why, matter of fact, or the balance of both, with the Ankh, the Ankh is like the wound or the circle at the top, with the phallus at the bottom, represent that masculine and feminine coming together to create. But so with the principle of gender, I felt that corresponded with the root chakra, because I thought about, the root chakra, deals with the body, and our body has gender in essence, what I'm saying? You either, male or female, So you see, You see how that correlates right there. And also the root chakra is, close to the genitalia area, which again, in essence, determines that gender, in essence. So, correlating the root chakra with the quote unquote law of principle of gender. I saw, that had a little way of lining up. Again, because the root chakra, the body has gender. Then also, the root chakra is in the genitalia area, which kind of, personifies our gender in essence. So on to the next principle, cause and effect. Every cause has an effect, for everything, one little, for every one action there's an opposite and equal reaction in essence, but it's like that cause and effect. Like if I touch something, it's gonna have a type of effect to it, what I'm saying? Like me touching this paper, I could feel it with my finger, that's something simple, or if I say something to a person, that cause is gonna have some type of effect, on that person or coming back to me, whatever, but cause and effect. And I correlated that one to correspond with the Sacral Chakra. Because, I thought about cause and effect of, reproduction or dealing with sex, because the Sacral Chakra, in essence, deal with that sexual energy, and it also deals with the emotions, but, like how, in the reproduction vibe with sex, like that cause and effect, you have that cause of, the sexual actions to reproduce, then you have that effect with something, you have an offspring from that, that sexual activity of reproduction, and again, not saying correlating it with the act of sex dealing with reproduction, but not saying like, all right, yep, only time to have sex is when you're making a child, what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not, but to each his own how you may perceive that. But emotions due so all right. Also with the Sacral Chakra, again, it deals with emotions, and our emotions a lot of times may be due to some type of cause. You feeling some type of way because you done had some type of thought. Are you feeling some type of way? Again, because of some type of cause. So the effect is your emotions that you're giving off. You know what I'm saying? So correlating again that cause and effect vibe with the Sacral Chakra. Then you have the law or principle of rhythm, which basically like everything flows out and in, or rises and falls. Everything has like a cycle or ebb and flow to it. And I correlated this one with the solar plexus. Okay, I thought about how the solar plexus is on, in comparison to, the sun, like our inner sun, and and as above, so below, the sun, the external matrix sun, it rises and falls. It has a rhythm to it. It comes up, around December 21st, is going to show itself less. You know what I'm saying? Then in the Capricorn, that's matter of fact, Capricorns, cardinal sign opposing to the Cancer, again though, not losing myself, but with the sun passing through, so the tropic of Capricorn, and around December 21st, it's less sunlight, or like the sun dies. That's why, matter of fact, right now, everybody talk about, oh, Jesus was born today. Do me a favor. If you really want to liberate yourself from bullshit, there's a book called The World 16 Crucified Saviors by Kersey Graves that you might want to check out. And then also looking up astrotheology, matter of fact, breaking down how, again, what I'm talking about right now, like the sun passing through the elliptical is also the story of, the Jesus energy. Because, the sun around December 21st, I'm sorry, it's like one of the, how can I say, it's when the sun is at its, least amount of sunlight within that, it has reached that peak of this is the most darkness is going to deal with. And then from that moment, from December 21st, it starts to rise, or be born again, you know, because matter of fact, December 21st, you know, was right behind that, you know, December 24th and 25th, you know, like, oh, Jesus was born, you know what I'm saying? Also check out the two Nicene Councils by Constantine. But anyway, where they purposely, again, tried to turn what they knew was just a Christ consciousness into a historical figure. So, and you start to see the insanity of this, you know, around us, you know. Again, as that third eye open, you start to see like, damn, so people celebrating Christmas and that's all some fake shit, you know. But they celebrating as if, you know, like it's really real on that level. And if you tell them otherwise, with all the knowledge that proves that they tripping, and not knocking nobody, but you know, but with all that knowledge, they still would, you know, not see it. But that's, again, initiation. Until we know, we don't know, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Or until we remember, let's just say, you know, because it's already in us. We just got to remember that this shit is some bullshit. Or that more so, them creating a holiday and trying to say Jesus was born on this day is the bullshit about it. But us connecting with energies, like again, December 21st, you know, December, you know, the 12 months, break down to 3, and 21st break down to 3, you know, the 3-3 energy, you know, right there. But back to this vibe, you know, again, the sun having a certain cycle to it or a certain rhythm, you know. So that's why I correlated the Hermetic principle of rhythm with the solar plexus. Because again, the solar plexus correlating with the sun, and the sun, you know, has a certain little ebb and flow or rise and fall to it. You know. The next one is the principle of law of polarity. And this one, matter of fact, so the law of polarity, you know, deal with everything is dual, everything has poles, you know, like a battery. You know, a battery has a negative and a positive side, you know, with a magnet, you know, north and south. Have these poles, but it's two sides to one coin, though. It's all, you know, it's different poles, but it's all, you know, still that one, you know, in essence. But in a paradoxical way, in essence, you know, the chakra that correlate with the law of polarity, you know, I would say is the heart chakra. Because in essence, you know, the heart chakra is what balances out polarity, in essence, you know, because that's the main thing. That's why, you know, everything points to the heart chakra. You know, even the Caesar Borgia picture with the fake Jesus, you know, he had the little vibe of like, you know, point to his heart and pointing up, like the way up is through the heart, you know, because the heart chakra, you know, balances, you know, the higher nature with the lower nature, and also balances the masculine and feminine, with the pineal gland is also a representation of that balance, you know, in the brain as well. But, you know, the heart chakra is the full, like, you know, just balance in general, you know, meeting in that mid spot, you know. Because, again, when we have that balance between the masculine and feminine energies, you know, that's basically like, you know, when the heart, you know, matter of fact, when the heart, healthy heart coherence, you know, in essence. But, you know, when we following the intuition, or more so, not say just the intuition, but being guided by, you know, balance with the intuition and logic, you know, not just on one side, like not just with intuition, not just with logic, but at the same time, you know, in these times we are going to be becoming more intuitive and more psychic. That's a fact, you know what I'm saying? But just because of that, that doesn't mean we're throwing logic out the window, you know. Of course, we're still going to use logic, but, you know, a lot of us are becoming, you know, very intuitive, you know. But that heart chakra correlation as well. And matter of fact, and I'm gonna come back to dealing with the heart chakra, you know, and just that whole vibe of why, you know, just all the different, how can I say, the different information or how it correlates, that points to, you know, like how the heart chakra is really about balance. And like that's one of the, like what we dealing with right now is about, you know, balancing that heart chakra. Matter of fact, right quick, you know, which I'm gonna get into this later. You know, the heart chakra, you know, is also this is the sign for the heart chakra. Matter of fact, you also see the little cube inside there too. But you know, the masculine energies, you know what I'm saying, going upward, the feminine energies going downward, but balanced, you know, within this sacred geometry of this, you know, six-sided star. In fact, also, you know, the star tetrahedron or the Merkaba around the body that allows for, you know, interdimensional travel. But we're gonna get back to the heart chakra with that vibe. So again, the law of polarity, you know, everything has poles, you know, hot, cold, wet, dry, you know, negative, positive, you know. And again, I had the endonosis to correlate this one with the heart chakra. The next one is the Hermetic Principle of vibration. You know, basically this principle dealing with the fact that everything vibrates. You know, everything has a vibration to it. No matter if it seems like to our naked eye, you know, it's still and it's not moving. You know, everything is vibrating. You know, how they say that on a subatomic level, but on the, you know, at the smallest level, you know, if we was able to look, you know, we would see that everything is constantly in motion. And that one correlates with the throat chakra, because I thought about, you know, throat chakra, you know, the words that vibrate, you know, that vibration of words, you know, correlating with, you know, everything that vibrates. I just felt like, again, even when I'm talking and I just, again, just the inner gnosis, you know, that came to me, and then on some simplistic vibes, you know, again, like as I'm talking, I'm constantly feeling the vibration of my throat box, you know, so it's like, all right, you know, throat chakra, you know, will coincide with the vibration, because it's also, again, like the word vibration, you know, like with magic spell, like spelling words or spells, you know, putting a curse, you know, some word and vibrations, you know, everything vibrates. So you see the little correlation with the throat chakra and the principle of vibration. Next, the principle of correspondence. You know, the law of correspondence is my favorite. You know, as above, so below. You know, and this one, as a matter of fact, no coincidence that the name is Law of Correspondence, and it corresponds with the First Eye Chakra, you know, or some people it's popularly known as the Third Eye Chakra. You know, I like to call it the first eye, because I feel like that's that first eye, like that's the eye that really shows the truth. You know, these little two eyes, you know, these are the ones that kind of feed us into the illusion. You know, again, that's why I like a lot of, you know, speaking of like the sun, of course, sun gazing and all that is good, but, you know, this physical realm externally is, you know, it's not the true realm in that sense, you know. Of course, our experiences here, you're going to feel real and all of this, but still, with all that being said, it's still not, you know, like, say, for instance, we got the internal sun and we got the internal eye that sees through all the bullshit. You know, again, like where our eyes present to us somebody smiling and, you know, hey, how you doing? Like presenting, you know, again, that's why like our sun sign is like kind of almost like false light, you know, like that's why in most cases, most people tell you, you know, our moon sign to a certain extent points to our, you know, true self in essence, because the moon sign, I mean the sun sign and somewhat the ascendant is more like who I choose to show myself as to society, you know, compared to like who, like, you know, like deep down inside, like who I truly am, you know. But again, the law of correspondence, as above, so below. What goes on in the macrocosm goes on in the microcosm. You know, just like the sun, you know, goes through different constellations. You know, the Christ seed, all that, you know, like that internal sun within our body rising from the spine, you know, flows through the body just like the sun externally does. You know, also, Also, just like, again, just like we have chakras, they have, chakras within the being that we are in, you know what I'm saying? And uh, when I say within the being that we are in, with my videos, take what resonate with, take what resonates with you, leave what don't, but that's just my inner vibe of, feeling like, again, like a as above, so below aspect, just like a Osmosis Jones, like the Osmosis Jones movie, but like how cells in the body, like living their little life, and like, I wonder where all this come from, or, just going by their little life. Same thing with us, like we cells within the body, you know what I'm saying? But reason why I correlated with the first eye chakra, because I thought about when that first eye is open, we're able to break down a concept like the law of correspondence. You know what I'm saying? We're more open to insight on the concept of as above, so below, compared to like if our pineal, fried, like we're not even on no expansive thought type of process. We, going with the flow of whatever, just kind of staying in our regular mundane human aspect, and not questioning, like, I wonder, what's going on with this or this and that, like, because the pineal shut down, you don't have no imagination. Because matter of fact, so say for instance, to deal with the law of correspondence on, just expanding on it, you would have to have imagination, like how I might have these videos talking about, like, all right, certain people on this plane of existence is more like red blood cells. Certain people are more like white blood cells. Certain people are more like the cells in the brain. Some people are more like the cells in the foot. You know what I'm saying? But like, you have to have imagination, to deal with, those certain aspects. So again, I see that that Hermetic principle, connecting with the first eye chakra, the law of correspondence, as above, so below. And then next and lastly, and again, this one, in essence, which I don't know if they are numbered. I haven't come across information that said, or my high self haven't pointed me to saying like, hey, gotta make sure it's in this order or in this order. Shit, they all the laws of the universe, they coincide with each other all at once. So, it wouldn't necessarily need a chronological order just to operate, it's just in chronological order, in essence, just to share it on a literature level. But again, it doesn't seem like it really matters about a chronological order to this. But the last one, the law of mentalism, or the principle of mentalism, basically all is mind, basically, everything we see around us, existed as a thought first before I could be dealing with this table I'm sitting at right now, or be at this dorm, or it was a thought first before somebody created it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a thought first. Like, my mom and daddy had the thought of like, we gonna come together, on this type of level, and bring a little offspring into it, where, that was a thought first. They had to, all is mind, like everything is a manifestation of our thoughts, and not to say that everything like manifestation is just about, or if I just think this, then it comes to play, which, I mean, in essence, not basically like that, but basically, so say for instance, again, back to the subconscious programming and dealing with the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is what runs and manifests basically, our whole experience, in essence. All of like the deep ingrained programs in the subconscious is, deals with our abundance flow or lack thereof, or how we deal with certain people, things, like all that has to do with subconscious mind. And if you're not programming your own subconscious, then you're still dealing with subconscious programming from your parents, or or from your guardians, or whatever environment you grew up in. Is basically running how your mind is operating today. you know, but that's only if you haven't realized to program your own subconscious. But yeah, if not, you know, you're just running on the programming of what everybody else put into you, you know. And again, back into that principle, all is mind, and that one correlate with the crown chakra, you know, because matter of fact, the crown chakra, you know, you get into that place of realizing that everything is connected, you know. And again, the crown chakra, you know, dealing with, you know, being on top of the skull, you know, in that area of the mind. So you see that kind of correlation, because again, the crown chakra is a connection to the infinite mind, you know what I'm saying? So with that connection to the infinite mind, you know, I see it corresponding with the Hermetic principle of mentalism. You know. But again, these it's possible that somebody could find a way to flip all of them, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it was a balance of insight with logic, you know, because it's like each one, you know, although I got it from an inner gnosis on the intuitive level, you know, it had logical connections to it, you know what I'm saying? Like me explaining, like the logical connection with, you know, gender, everything masculine and feminine. The root chakra is close to our genitalia, you know, and the body has gender, and the root chakra connects with the body. So, you know what I'm saying? Like correlating it with a certain logic, you know. That's basically it on that aspect, you know. And then now just kind of, you know, going into, you know, speaking on the heart chakra vibes again, and like, in what I just spoke on, you know, correlating the Hermetic principle of polarity with the heart chakra, because in a, you know, paradoxical manner, the heart chakra is what stopped those poles from beefing and battling it out inside of us, you know. That's why, again, everything is about the heart chakra, you know, the Christ consciousness, you know, opens up that heart chakra, you know. But you see that, and also, I'm about to share, this is approach, I forgot the brethren name, but there's a Rudolph Steiner college or institute, you know, somewhere, and this brethren is like a, you know, that's a professor at that. Matter of fact, Rudolph Steiner, if y'all aren't familiar, matter of fact, I'm trying to think of I don't have any of his books written down, but I just think about, you know, if y'all familiar with Bobby Hemmett, y'all should be familiar with hearing the name Rudolph Steiner. Rudolph Steiner. And blessings to the brethren, to the brethren Bobby. Matter of fact, I think about Rudolph Steiner, Gerald Massey, what's his name, Pascal Beverly Randolph. But just gonna share this little aspect about, you know, how to balance things out. You know, basically like little, you could say like little principles or little aspects or little things that we could use to balance things out. But just also seeing the correlation. So again, that heart chakra, you know, creating that balance in the middle. And again, you see that, you know, the feminine triangle balanced with the masculine triangle right there. Then also, oh, I'm sorry, y'all, because I can't see. Balancing out, you know, see how the shapes, the fire and the air, you know, masculine going up, you know, the earth and water more feminine going down, you know. But if you put, you know, basically like, you know, make this one downward triangle, you know, representing these two, one upper triangle representing these two, and you get that balance, you know, again within that heart chakra. And also that's correlated, you know, with being the magician or doing magic, you know, as well. You know, with the tarot cards, you know, the magician card, you know, if you pay attention, you know, he got the wand right there that represents fire. Got the cup that represents water. Got the pinnacle that represents earth. Matter of fact, you know, we talk about the Taurus field, you know, and you know, and also stars like arm, leg, or the arm, you know, leg, arm, head, you know, Allah. But you know that earth aspect. And then the sword represents the air aspect, because the swords is the words, you know. The words, you know, that Mercury energy, that communication, that air aspect, you know. But you know, the magician knows how. Again, he got it set up. He about to blend all these little elements together, you know, and that's creating that magic. And you know, as above, so below. With the infinite connection to the mind. Matter of fact, correlating back to, you know, all is mind, you know, in the crown chakra, being connected to that infinite mind, that infinite, eternal, collective, you know, consciousness. You know, but again, you see the balancing of the energies. You know, it's basically like the Star of David, in essence, indirectly sitting on this table. Again, these elements had correlate with those certain shapes, and when you put those shapes together, it'll give you the Star of David, you know, when it's balancing itself. So you see that correlation as well. Then also with the heart chakra, you know, matter of fact, again, this is the symbol for the heart chakra, the Star of David. Also, again, the Merkaba, or the star tetrahedron. And also, you know, the heart chakra is correlated with the Leo constellation. You know, the Leo constellation has a star in it called Ras Elace. You know, Ras meaning head, and then, you know, Ras was also given, you know, Ras Tafari, you know, the name of Haile Selassie before, you know, he was crowned emperor, you know, and that's where you get Ras Tafari, you know. But you know, the Leo constellation deals with the heart chakra. You know, matter of fact, Rastafari, one love, you know, brethren. It's all about the love and the heart chakra. It's like the heart chakra energy, you know. And Haile Selassie birthday is on the same day that the Leo constellation, or the Leo, should I say Leo zodiac sign, you know, starts on, in essence. You know, and then Judah is the tribe connected to the Star of David as well. And Judah, again, that tribe which is said to be, you know, that Judah, the tribe, you know, extension of King Solomon, and you know, which again, King Solomon is not a historical figure, but a personification, you know, of you know, that energy within us to deal with, you know, all the different what they call daemons or demons, but you know, all the different energies are in essence gods within our universe, you know, gods within our temple of Solomon, you know, because the body is the temple of Solomon, you know, and being of the lineage of Solomon would just personify, you know, certain beings that know how to, you know, deal with the energies of source, you know what I'm saying, and not necessarily somebody that was actually kin to this non-historical figure, you know. Again, King Solomon didn't exist until somebody started writing, you know, a later version of the Bible, you know, or not say later version of the Bible, just later texts, you know, dealing with that, you know. When you look at ancient texts, you know, ancient hieroglyphs, stuff like that, you know, the Meta Netter, you know, none of this speaks on no guy named, you know, Solomon and this and that, you know. So again, but it's also the symbol again of the heart chakra. So you're seeing that balance of the energies, you know, the balance between the higher nature and the lower nature, you know. That's why everything right now is so important about, you know, learning how to, you know, meditate to clear the mind, you know, and opening up into that Christ consciousness, and you know, dealing with that heart chakra. Of course, we balancing all chakras, but for sure making sure that you know, the heart chakra, you know, is intact, you know, and being like that mediator, you know, the heart chakra like that mediator in between the energies, you know. No coincidence, you know, within the our body, you know, is made up of you know, those four elements. Then you also, in the middle of Star David, you could also get a cube, you know, so being in that hexagon or that hex, you know, that 666, the carbon, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, you know, within this box. You know. So you see that correlation as well. Now, these little principles I want to get into right quick. Again, this brethren spoke on. He said that it was a approach that Rudolph Steiner had used, to balance out, his the way he operated in his life, you know. And when I looked at the video, and I know I came across it for a reason, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to start using. That's why I wrote it down my little with this booklet. I mean, this sheet just came out of my little booklet, so I'm gonna have to staple it or something because I want to keep this. But which is not gonna be in necessarily a particular order, but just to go with it, control of thinking, And again, when we say control, which, I mean, in essence, is not necessarily being egotistical, to just make sure that, again, we how can I say, managing our thoughts in essence. Instead of control, we're going to say manage. We're going to manage our thinking, Because again, in order to say, for instance, you don't want to, that's what consciousness, conscious awareness is like being conscious of your state, of your mental state. All is mind, it's very important, to be able to control the thing. Because if all is mind in this universe is created through my subconscious mind, then maybe I want to, monitor my thinking, making sure I'm thinking about more positive things, and that thinking about positive things don't mean blind optimism or blind positivity, like that vibe of denial and let me turn the other way. That, again, because now when we hear the word positive, we're going to think, oh, there you go, that old new age positive shit. Like, no, again, and that's how they play the game, that's how tricky, that's how smart they are, on that level. I have to give kudos to that, because again, it's like, you say one thing, it's like, oh, it creates conflict, Again, in words itself, you see how Babylon, the language, creates that confusion. But, control of thinking. So, again, just that aspect of just monitoring, making sure, because it is your choice to have certain thoughts. You could either think about, positive aspects, and think about things that's relevant to your now, or you could be thinking about past aspects that hinder you, or thinking about, things in the future, like being too far in the future, So that's kind of what that aspect is pointing to in essence. Matter of fact, and that's at the top of the, this triangle, and this one is the masculine triangle, So dealing with those thoughts, because in essence, that's more so a logical situation. So that masculine energy. Also, control of will and actions, making sure that, we are doing things through our own will and not doing what, somebody else is influencing us to do, because again, that's where you start to lose your energy in essence. And when you transition, in essence, because you weren't being guided by your own soul, in essence, you're going to be misguided. As above, so below. You're going to be misguided when you transition out of the bodysuit, So, definitely want to have a control of your will and actions, Next would be control of expression, or what it is. Control of expression and of feeling, because when we get to these extremes, matter of fact, so how certain little sorcerers, play upon people's energies, like when you over emotional, because again, control of expression, we don't just, I'm just, just all the way left field all the time, just like extremely outspoken, or we not extremely quiet, what I'm saying? This is a balance, So again, and when we hear that word control, again, it's like, oh, we're not trying to, for lack of a better word, control of expression and of feeling, not letting our feelings, because again, when your emotions way polarize in one area, you're not thinking rationally or logically, and again, as much as we are becoming more psychic, more intuitive, we still going to be using our our logic and our rational abilities, but again, the control of expression, not going to the extreme, with our feelings and emotions, because again, that opens us up to psychic attacks. Any imbalance in general, again, opens us up to mind control and psychic attacks. So be aware of that. Like you might want to stay in the crib more. If you find yourself being imbalanced in one extreme than the other, like staying away from the influence of of others in that moment, like making sure we maintain that balance before we just throw ourselves into a sea of people and stuff like that. But again, so control of thinking, control of will and actions, and control of expression. And all of them, in essence, control, because it does deal, again, for lack of a better word, but with that masculine energy. So you basically, you want to be monitoring very closely, your thinking, monitoring very closely your will of actions, monitoring very closely your expressions and feelings, But again, you being in the driver's seat of this energy, Then on the feminine aspect, the downward triangle, want to deal with positivity, seeking truth, beauty, and goodness, so being positive, again, being positive, seeking truth, because that's what, truth is in essence a high vibration, in essence, like that's why if you're around somebody who may lie all the time, stuff like that, it's like you could feel like that lower vibrate, like it's like a lower vibratory essence that comes from being deceitful and lying, But again, on balancing these aspects, within our lives, always dealing with positivity, seeking truth, beauty, and goodness. And when I say always dealing with positivity, let me scratch that. Promoting. You want to be dealing with positivity to the best of your abilities. Of course, negativity pops up, and again, it's not for us to wait. Let me turn the other cheek, or let me not pay attention to that negativity. No, it's in your face for a reason. It's meant for you to acknowledge it and work through it. Just like that broke leg. Broke leg is like a negative thought. Imagine that like a broke leg, and when you got a broke leg, and I ain't say a negative thought, but negativity. When you got that negativity or that broke leg, if you try to ignore that broke leg, it's only gonna get worse. You gotta acknowledge that pain hurt, that the leg is broke, and you gotta do something to fix it. But when you ignore negativity, it just only grows, more and more. So see how that aspect, correlates. Then next, open-mindedness. I always feel like I'm saying minus. Open-mindedness. I just always want to say it like that, even if that's not the correct way to say it. God dang it, we the gods. I say it how I want to say it. But open-mindedness and receptivity to new experiences. That's also an aspect that you want to deal with. And matter of fact, it's bullet point number 5, and that's it would be no coincidence, because the number 5, also correlates with Jupiter and expansion. An expansion, being open, to new experiences, or to expand, expanding out of your comfort zone, meaning you're gonna be doing something different, something new, and open-mindedness, meaning, open to different ways of thinking, different information. So making sure you're keeping that in balance, within your being as well. And then last, number 6, harmonizing all the practices, harmonizing the the other 5 things I spoke on, because again, it is about balance, not letting one overpower the other, in essence. So that control of thinking, control of will and actions, control of expression, dealing with positivity, seeking truth, and dealing with beauty and goodness, and then also open-mindedness, and receptivity to new experiences, And again, just something I felt like, all right, that definitely helped me with just expanding on the different vibes of how to balance, the mind, body, and soul in essence. Because matter of fact, me accepting this now was like me being open-mindedness to, new experiences. So I was, digging around for just different information and new information, just something that, that's different from what I've been learning about in essence. And I came across this video speaking on this information. And again, just seeing this correlation with the heart chakra and the balancing things out. But that's basically it. Again, wanted to just show how those Hermetic Principles could correspond with certain chakras, Again, deal with what resonates with you, leave what don't. It's inner gnosis. Because again, in these times, we're going to be expressing ourselves in ways that's going to be, quote unquote, new to the old systems and ways of doing things. Again, like mostly all inventors, people who was inventing things and, constantly coming up with new ideas, they always seem like, oh man, he out there, or he crazy. The person who created the air conditioner, I'm pretty sure people are like, you're trying to put some cold air in a box, you're trying to make a box blow some cold air. Like, oh, that'll never work, or that's stupid, or this and that, you know what I'm saying? But that person had to stay confident in their uniqueness and know, like, fuck what they talking about. Like, high self got me with the design in my head. I see it popping off. I'm gonna make this shit. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like, oh, they might think I'm crazy, or and then you end up falling out of your soul purpose off of being scared of what others think. But I don't recall what I was saying with that. But sharing information, like we gonna be, a lot of us are, those guiding stars, those trailblazers, Matter of fact, that's why a lot of us, dealing with these cardinal signs in essence, which I'm a cardinal sign under Western astrology, but then dealing with sidereal Sagittarius. But the way I look at my life, I was like, I always been balancing between both, in essence. But again, back to being those trailblazers, so we're gonna be coming up with ideas and certain spiritual concepts and certain literature that's gonna seem far-fetched or seem like, oh, I ain't never seen no book talk about that, or I ain't never, because motherfucker, excuse my diction, I'm writing that new book, I'm bringing that quote unquote, new information, you know what I'm saying? Like, we bringing that up to the forefront, So right now too, in this time, being brave, again, that's why, it becomes important. As much as I've been going through the little transmutation of energies, dealing with root chakra work and dealing with that, like eating all kind of different little things, some things that may be deemed unhealthy, But as much as I've been going that flow, I'm always making sure, that I'm staying up with the health, I'm not promoting this water. Matter of fact, I don't own this water, the copyrights to it, or none of that. Not promoting it, this or that. I mean, indirectly, you could say I'm promoting it by drinking it in front of y'all, but that water, we made over 70% water. So why am I spend most of my day drying myself up by eating food? You know, again, y'all, we gotta realize, man, we've been tricked into a certain way of living. You know, just imagine, you know, so just think about it like this. You know, imagine that, you know, sitting in a car, you could listen to a song come out, and within a month's time of it always coming on the radio, you like always with the, like you start singing it now. It's like always in your mind. So just how simple you could be programmed within a month's time. Imagine like over 2,000 years of programming. Imagine like years and years of, you know, programming and tricking a being into thinking they gotta eat food, you know, and they gotta do this and they gotta, you know that constantly gets passed down in the DNA, and it you know, we just get further into forgetting who we truly are, you know, with all this foolishness around us, you know what I'm saying? So remember that, like, you know, on an ancient aspect, you know, let's just say, you know, again, like with the eating, all the things we do, like speech, all that, you know, kind of been tricked into that vibe. Like, that's not our true essence, you know. We really speak telepathically, you know what I'm saying? That's why they constantly trying to push phones and stuff like that and make them cooler and cooler every second, you know, cooler. And matter of fact, the technology we got ain't shit compared to what we could really be working with, you know what I'm saying? If we stop playing, again, just like with anything, with you know, manifestation, something new. You know, how could I manifest something new? Like if I'm playing with this old car and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fix up on this old car, this and that, instead of just buying me a new one, you know, or dealing with something new, you know. So same thing, like when we dealing with all these little fucking material things like a phone and all this shit, overly doing it, you know, and not tapping into our spiritual aspects, you know. It's basically like we being occupied by that phone and by these little, you know, things that's not, how can I say, it's taking up the time and space of us dealing with, you know, our real technology, you know, instead of expanding on some new technology, you know, on a level that's, you know, again, when I say new technology, because we're not trying to, you know, let robots run us and nothing like that, but, you know, matter of fact, though, we could expand on technology to correlate it with nature, you know what I'm saying, on a more metaphysical level, you know. But I digress, because I kind of forgot where I was headed right there. That's basically it. Let's see, do I need to, oh yeah, just create new things. I was talking about, again, like somebody trying to fix up on an old car, trying to hold on to something old, you know, when there's something amazing waiting for us on the other side. Like, you know, if we was just to let that old car go, you know, to let that old car go, you know, if we was able to do that, man, we could be able to deal with all kind of, you know, new vehicles, or, you know, just different things, you know, the aspect of creating our own vehicle, now that we're not dealing with that old vehicle, you know, just hypothetically speaking, in the essence of it, you know, like, again, you know, just showing that correlation of when you're holding on to something old, you know, you're not going to really be dealing with, you know, dealing with something new, you know, you're just going to constantly be holding on to trying to fix on that, you know, so it's that correlation right there. But again, that's basically it, you know. Yeah, just remembering, you know, the balance with the heart chakra vibe, you know, balancing the high nature with the lower nature, you know, the masculine and feminine energies being balanced. That's where it's at, you know, balancing things with that heart chakra. You know, not just being one-sided, you know, again, in our approach to things. Of course, we uniquely all different. So some of us may deal with, again, our intuition a little more than logic. Some of us may deal with our logic a little more than intuition. Some of us may deal with taking physical action a little more than, meditating and doing things on a slower pace, but at the same time, it's about us balancing out these aspects in a way that's, best for our uniqueness, because if everybody was 50-50 on the balance, then we would be right back at square one where everybody be acting the same and doing the same shit, And so when we speak about balance, to always keep that in mind, it's not for everybody to be 50-50 on everything. Everybody 50-50 on talking and everybody 50-50 on logic and intuition. Everybody down the slate, every single being on this plane of existence, 50-50. That's the only way you got to balance. Everybody got to be completely balanced the same. No, it's about balance and integrating energies, but it's all on our own uniqueness of our being, And again, following that heart's intuition, opening up that Christ consciousness, getting to a place, we have that discernment, I forgot where I was going. Oh, we're just listening to the heart, because again, what's very important right now, as much as you want to be, get little guidance from certain videos and certain books, stuff like this, you want to make sure that voice of intuition and that inner, that inner heart voice is very loud, and not being drowned out by the egoic mind noise, That way you don't really have to, try to listen to somebody's every word, like a certain, lecturers every word or books every word. Like, you don't have to hold and try to linger on to that, because, you got your own inner guidance as well to deal with. And that's something that's very key and important. So, but that's basically it. Peace. Happy now. Now the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right